Hello.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Skyward Sword WingClash 80%. Quarterfinals Game 1 versus Kitcot and Mario Runner. Joining me today in the commentary booth are Fireworks Spinner and Jasnix. How are you two doing today?
Pretty
Hi.
good, thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. We got a good race for you guys today. Kitcot versus Mario, two very good runners facing off in the winners bracket. They both have won their first races, so definitely going to be something nice for you. One thing I guess I'm going to point out, because you guys will notice it. Our runners are running in two different languages. Kitcot is running in Japanese, Mario is running in English. English is very much slower than Japanese. So Mario is going to be getting a little bit of a head start here. When the timer starts, he will be starting off right away. And 2 minutes and 6 seconds later is when Kitcot will be starting. Just to make up for the text differences.
Yeah, and so this is also going to be the first game of best of 3. So this is the first game of winners round 2. So yeah, we'll see. There will be another game at some point. I don't think it's been scheduled. Yeah, it's not after this one. All
TBD.
right. I have sent off the runners, and so Mario will be starting shortly. Kitcot will be starting in a little bit. But yeah.
I see we have decided on Z as the file name.
Yes.
Or Z if you're one of those people.
I have the wonderful job of looking at my keyboard and thinking, I need to pick a letter, and picking one that I like. That's how we generate the file names here. But alright, so yeah, Mario.
We gotta have like a symbol as a file name at some point.
I need to look at all of them. I don't know what they all are.
And looks like Mario is off and running.
Alrighty, so yeah, this is gonna be, you're gonna watch Skyward Sword be beaten in an hour. Wonder how that's possible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a very technical yet safe route. Like I don't think anyone's really gonna have any setbacks, like any deaths or anything.
No, not at all.
But I mean, then again, in a race setting, people can kind of get nerves.
Oh man, Mario, he's feeling confident. He's gonna talk to this person. I don't think he needs to do this to beat the game. Is he just flexing on Kitcot with his amazing skill?
Or maybe he's confused with Rando, and usually you have to talk to Fledge and Rando.
Oh yeah, no.
But we'll see how the run goes. But like, obviously, like in a tournament setting, there are definitely some nerves. So some of our runners might do some things that kind of seem out of the ordinary, just out of nerves. But
yeah,
so long as nobody dies, we should be fine.
We should be fine. Yeah, so now we're just gonna talk to this lovely dude. So I want you to look at this English text, and yeah, it's pretty bad. You're gonna see Japanese, it's gonna go way faster. A lot of the time loss is gonna be an early game, so these runners will be like mostly caught up by the time they're like at 4 minutes or something, because this text part is one of the biggest in the game. So
yeah, there's like a lot of text in the beginning, and then there's like a lot of text about an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah. Alright, so Mario's gonna do a trick here. He wants to, if he can jump across this little finicky platform, what he wants to do is, this dude, you can talk to him, but he'll give a lot of text, and there's usually a trigger there, so if you do a precise jump, you can grab that ledge and skip his text.
Which you did happen to do first try, which is very nice.
Yep. That trick is actually way harder than it looks. It's like super hard, but luckily he gets it.
Also, apologize for like any like lag in restream. We're currently figuring out a fix for things. But But yeah, Bob, I'm curious as to why Mario's on the roof. Usually, like, this is not required. This is usually an optional side quest.
Yeah, no, I think this is insane. His routing is crazy. Oh no, he missed the
Oh,
jump.
as you can tell, that can happen. I find it's very funny when that happens. Usually, you want to land on that ledge to avoid falling down, having to climb back up. But just a bad angle on that one.
Yeah, sometimes the game just says no. But alright, so Mario should be going off to the cutscene, but now he's gonna save.
Yeah, I mean, he's already done some weird things, so like safety saving is not a bad idea. I wouldn't think.
He doesn't want to get a random crash and then just lose his run. That would be unfortunate. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing here. Why is he taking damage? Uh-oh.
Is his I think is his nunchuck drifting or something?
Is his nunchuck drifting? Okay,
that's fine. Just come back up and then go to. Oh. Okay.
All right. Yeah, he'll get it this time. I bet it. He won't take damage.
Good thing he safety saved.
Oh no!
I did say we should have like deathless, but like.
Oh no! He died. That's so sad.
Commentator's curse.
Commentator's curse. Rip the run. Damn.
All
right. So our acting performance is 10 out of 10. So we're obviously doing some weird shit. He's like. We're trying to get into back in time, which is a glitch that happens when you try and reload while resetting your console, and by doing that, the game will respawn Link, but it won't know where to put him because he reset, so it's gonna put him on the title screen. And so we're currently playing on a version of Skyloft that is only used while you're like on the title screen, and that's why it looks all like weird and like oversaturated right now. So what Mario wants to do, he's gonna run up to the statue and he's gonna save with file 1. And what this does is this is gonna say, okay, I have file 1 loaded and I'm saving the game. I'm gonna save file 1. So that's what just happens there. So now Mario is saved on this weird Skyloft map, and he's not done yet. He's gonna he wants to get the Farron pillar on his file. So he's gonna go through a little process to get that. But yeah.
Yep. And you're gonna see why he saved in a little bit. But essentially, in this weird version of Skyloft, you can access the goddess statue, which Mario's in right now, but you'll be able to access it in the main file, which usually you're not supposed to till about like, what is it, another like half hour in or something like that.
It takes like another. I think it's like, at least casually, it's like it's like another half hour. You're not supposed to be here until you at least like get the sailcloth and save the bird. This is way later in the way later than you're supposed to be.
The whole wing ceremony, and you see Zelda get kidnapped. You go through this lengthy chase sequence.
So it's currently a we're very much out of order already. And so what we're gonna see Mario doing here is so you just place the Emerald Tablet. By getting the Goddess Sword, you are given the Emerald Tablet. What he wants to do is he wants to start his file as the Emerald Tablet is being like the flag for the Emerald Tablet is being set. And what that does is that if you start your file and then an action that like does something in game happens, in this case raising the Emerald Pillar, the game is gonna think, okay, what file do I currently have loaded? Okay, I have file 1's information loaded. So when I do this action, I'm gonna apply it to the currently loaded file, which in this case is file 1. So now by doing that, we have the Emerald Pillar on file 1, because the game just thinks, oh, like you just put that in, yeah. And you'll see it in a second. Mario's gonna get the sword, and then he's gonna Skyward strike a pedestal, and you'll see that the Emerald Tablet's gonna be there, so he's gonna have it. This
is a trick that we call reverse bit magic. You're gonna hear us refer to it as RBM, just for speed.
We call bit is an acronym for back in time. RBM is reverse bit magic. If we say like a bit warp, it's back in time warp. RBW is reverse bit warp. It's named confusingly, but it's not our fault. We blame other people for the. I don't know why it's called back in time.
Well, it's called back in time because of it was originally discovered in Twilight Princess. and you're just brought back to the title screen. It's like the opening cutscene, and the person who discovered it was in Arbiter's Grounds, I believe. And so that was like way earlier in the run.
Oh,
So
interesting.
back in time, and the name kind of just stuck. But yeah.
We will be going back in time, like actually back in time this run, but not the way we're supposed to. I think a lot of things in this game, we're not going to be doing things as intended. We have kind of broken everything. For example, we're not supposed to have the Goddess Sword yet. That's something that doing that glitch lets us get early. We have the Goddess Sword.
And that's the only sword we're going to be getting.
Yeah, we're not going to get
run.
another sword. Usually in the vanilla game, you're supposed to like get the practice sword, and then you're supposed to like power up the sword to the master sword, and then have Zelda bless it. But screw that. No, we're just gonna go in with a little toothpick.
Yeah, which
And it actually is
takes a
gonna
lot
like
of
affect the
time.
run. Yeah, it was
takes
a lot of time.
of time, like in the earlier parts of the game. But then in the later parts of the game, you're gonna see that some of these fights take a lot longer
Yeah.
because the damage output is so slow.
Yeah, it's swords in this game like do actually have different damage values, and so unfortunately like the end game bosses are meant for the high damage values. So when we have low damage values for high damage value bosses, it kind of sucks. So like that's why Girahim 3 is gonna take like 20 plus hits or something instead of 7.
Yeah. And also, I suppose I should explain, Mario just walked into a house and then just left. All these random things that Mario and Kitcot will be doing, they seem random, but they do have a purpose. They're essentially setting up different values that we're going to be using in later instances of Back in Time.
Yeah.
So that was not just terrible acting on our parts. There is actually a rhyme and reason for that.
Yeah. I'll try and explain it now. Well, I'll try and explain it also more like when we get to it. But everything you can do in this game has an attributed flag that we call a scene flag, and that basically is a way of the game, like the way the game says that, like, okay, I did this action in this location, so when I go to this location, it's gonna think that I did this action. So, for example, like talking to Fledge there at the beginning of the game, the person we talked to, the game is gonna set a flag that says, okay, you talked to him, and when that flag gets set, that we can abuse that because how this game handles scene flags is that there's kind of a universal array, where every scene flag has a specific value assigned to it. So it's like, if you're here like 2x04 or something, that's just a value on a spreadsheet where basically all of the flags are, and it's shared between maps. So for example, talking to Fledge, that flag has an attributed flag on another map. So in this case, what we want is we want that flag for a log that's pushed in the Seal Grounds, because they share the same space, but because they're on a different map, it's fine. Like, it'll load the information only when you're on a specific map. What we can do is, in Back in Time, you can take those flags from one file that says, okay, I'm on Skyward and I talked to this person, and bring that to the Back in Time map by loading it. So when you go, let's say, into Seal Grounds in Back in Time with that flag, the game is going to think, okay, I'm looking at the data, and I have this flag set. Even though it's on Skyloft, the game doesn't look at that. It just looks at, I have the flag set, so it sets the flag in the map you're currently in.
And that is bit magic.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what we call bit magic. And so that's why we have to do all those things, like saving the cat. Like, you don't actually have to do that to beat the game, but those have useful flags attached to it that we do need. So that's why we're going to be doing that throughout the run.
So kind of like an easier, like layman's terms of explaining Back in Time and RVMs and stuff. I heard a really good analogy where, like, you're like a postal worker, and you have a letter going to an apartment complex, like say apartment 4D or something. But you deliver it to the right apartment, but the wrong apartment complex.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like,
that
a
works,
flag
actually.
that's designed for Skyloft, you bring it to the Farron complex. And for Skyloft, it says, like, pay your rent or something. But for Farron, it says, pick up your dry cleaning.
I like that. That's a great analogy. So yeah.
And now we're going to see Mario attempt a cutscene skip. It is a 2-frame window where Link can side hop and avoid a cutscene that saves like half an hour if you were to do the entire thing. And if not, there is a small backup that will lose a little bit of time. And let's see.
I also did not get it. Really.
Fail it. So now we're going to a backup strat, and we're going to channel our inner Donkey Kong in Zelda.
Yeah, we'll see. Kit, you already see he's caught a lot of time back up just by good execution and the Japanese text just being so fast. If he does get the trick, then he will be slightly ahead. Yeah, so this is it's a 2-frame side hop, so you have 2 frames to press A. He gets it.
And Kitcot does get it. It's actually a very similar scenario to me and Jasnik's race in round 1. Pretty much the exact same scenario. I was running on English and failed cutscene skip. He was running on Japanese and got the cutscene skip. And that was pretty much where the lead changed hands.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, what we're gonna see here, Mario, when you throw a barrel, barrels will do damage to Link when they're rolling down a slope. So we pick up a barrel and we throw it, and then we have to throw it up a slope so it rolls down, and then we get hit by it. It's a really silly setup, but
it's a nice way to enjoy a little bit of Donkey Kong in your Zelda speedrun.
And yeah, what kind of sucks about that is if you remember, we didn't point it out, but when we're going through the waterfall cave, that like cave area, we took damage in there, and there are enemies in there that we can die with. But there's a weird thing with Back in Time where there are certain maps where Back in Time just does not work at all, and that's one of them. If you try to do Back in Time in that map by dying and resetting, the game just will not put you in Back in Time. It'll reload you on it'll just reload the title screen like normal.
And now we're seeing Kitcot, and we'll see it from Mario do what's called a reverse bit warp, where they're going to start their file and enter a loading zone shortly after. As you can see, Kitcot just now went to the sky from his save file. And Mario's about to do the same. They both opted for the safe strat, I've noticed.
Yeah. That's kind of the standard for races.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you do fail that trick, that is one of those tricks that if you fail, there's just really no backup for it. I don't want to explain it too much because it's kind of complicated, but we do a thing called a file dupe, which is basically we're trying to get in. It's like copying your file, but you're not actually copying it. Like, it's copying a file without actually using the copy button. But it's specifically useful because we can, we want to enter here with no coordinates. So, and a new file has no coordinates, but a file that like has data on it will. So if we do the file dupe, we'll still have no coordinates, and that's why we do that. Also, we're seeing our runners die to this Gwei. So the first thing we have to do when we get here, we're kind of like stuck here. There's nothing for us to really do. So we just want to die. Dying as quickly as possible will reload us back to the waterfall cave, because currently the game thinks, like, this is actually a copy of file 3. This is just file 3 that we saved this after waterfall cave.
So we technically don't have the loft wing. So we need to die to respawn to go get our loft wing again.
Yeah, the game does not think we have the loft wing. And that's a problem.
I like to refer to file 2 as the Franken file, because we want multiple different flags.
Yeah.
We want the Farron pillar open, which we already had. We want the ability to call our bird, which Kitcot just regained, and Mario's about to regain. And then we need the ability to dive off our bird, which both our runners now have. With those 3 elements, we can go to Farron. Yeah.
And here, like, now that we have all of this, like, nothing's gonna stop us from going to Farron, and we had to dive here because this map is the Loftwing tutorial map, which normally has boundaries to it, so you can't just like fly all over the sky. But it never applied those boundaries to diving, because the game never expected you to be stupid and have diving at this point. So you can just dive and get past the invisible wall, and so you can get here early. which is very good because if we couldn't do that, then this route would not work at all. We would like severely need to reroute this. So thank God.
I honestly don't remember what the old route did for it. I really.
The old route had to open the Farron pillar manually. It like RBW'd into the goddess statue. It like got the goddess sword early, then RBW'd there to skip the 5Js. It was a silly route.
Yeah, and then they just dived from Knight Academy. Yeah. And now that we made the Farron, first thing we're going to do is die, of course. And now we're going to be doing another reverse bit warp, kind of similar to what we did to go into the sky, except now we're going to be going into the dungeon. And this time we are going to have coordinates, but those coordinates are going to be about halfway through the dungeon. A little more than halfway.
And this is going to be like a 4 or 5 minute long back in time sequence, so easily the longest one in the run.
But it does save like the entirety of the Farron section, which usually would revolve getting a lot more things.
Yeah, no, this like Farron I think takes like 15 plus minutes or something. This is like 5. This saves a lot of time.
But one thing that this also does skip that older routes you would usually do, and usually is a staple in any Zelda game, by doing this section of RBM, we are missing out on getting the slingshot, which in turn also gives us the ability to use other essential items like bombs, the bow, the whip, and all these other items that you usually see in a Zelda playthrough.
Yeah, and
a Skyward Sword playthrough.
This route kind of like we call this route the itemless route because through a lot of very funky glitches, we actually have the ability to skip every single item now, and that's a huge time save. Because unfortunately, this game is kind of silly and just not like handling items. But on Kit's side, also, you're seeing him do a dive. So we have, because of File 2 setup, we have the Farron pillar on our files in Back in Time, so we can enter the sky in Back in Time and dive into the Farron pillar. So now we can reach Farron in bit. And this is important because like for one, in this one we specifically want to go to Skyview, and so we want to do this in Back in Time because we can load flags from other files. But also, there are certain flags that you can't reach on Skyloft that are going to be useful to get in Farron, so this is a very essential part of the run right here. Without Farron Back in Time, this run would not be possible.
And people are like even some of like the glitch hunters in this game are still kind of confused on how Farron Back in Time should even possibly work. Like it truly is like the miracle glitch of this game.
Yeah,
other than Back in Time itself, but
the setup in order to get into Farron Back in Time is actually incredibly like complicated because we specifically need a file that is in the wing ceremony, that has the diving flag, that has the Farron pillar opened, that has never entered Farron, that has also like it's like yeah, you need those things, and then you need flags that have files for other RBMs. Like you need certain like flags from later. So it's just a huge mess. Getting this to work was an odyssey.
We're also going to notice some logs being pushed down and some other things. These are the flags that we set earlier on. And right now, Kitcot is going to die, which will kind of like reload some more of those flags that we need to actually get to Skyview.
Yeah, specifically a vine coming up.
Yeah, the vine.
Yeah. That's why we entered Rinna's house or Kukiel's house earlier. It was that flag of leaving the house is correspondent to this vine that you're gonna see in a little bit.
It's also corresponded to a dig spot in the Elden area, which is very fun RBM for Rando.
At Raid Spinel.
You know, the thing is Mario gonna get log jump really quickly?
Nice.
Yes. Log jump.
Alright,
so now you're
gonna see some funky stuff here because we're gonna select file 1, we're gonna select file 3, skip the cutscene, and now we're at the door to entering Skyview because because this is a flag we set earlier, we're gonna reselect. I think you already did. We'll reselect file 3, and then we're gonna RBW file 3 into Skyview by starting and then skipping this cutscene as we start.
Yeah,
So.
that cutscene was thanks to saving the cat earlier, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now we're about a little more than halfway through Skyview, and we're in an unloaded state of Skyview right now. There's no enemies, there's no locks, no doors or anything. Well, there's doors, but no like bars or anything. So we're just going to enter this to reload everything, and then we can get the boss key to fight our first boss. The first of exactly 4, I think, that we fight in this game.
I think that's right, yeah. We only fight like 4 bosses.
And only 2 of them are actually at the end of dungeons.
Also gonna hope to see Kitcot not die here. This is one of those spots, because of the RBW we did, our respawn point is not set here, it's set on Skyloft. So if we die, you actually would be sent back to Skafnian to do this process again. Also, the spider does not want to cooperate.
Yeah, Kitcot did a spin attack, and that kind of made it wonky.
That was a very close spider jump, but he got it.
Yeah, that jump is harder than it looks, especially for new runners.
And if you miss it and the spider hits you, that is a game over, and that is a huge time loss. But luckily, after that, you can save here, and so now you're basically safe. Like if you die, you just get respawned back here. So
yeah, very very nice safety save. Highly recommend, especially in a race setting.
yeah, it can be sometimes scary because like sometimes runners will just forget to do it because a lot of them, like when you're doing PB attempts, you wouldn't really go for that because if you die, you just reset the run.
The only time I never safety save is if I fail and I come back with 6 hearts. Funnily enough, whenever I do that, I end up doing worse in G1 and I almost die.
Now it's time for the hardest part of the game, these vines.
Yeah, these vines.
Yep.
Yep, just shake it off, Just shake it off. You got it. Yeah, usually we would have a projectile by this point. We could shoot down the vines. We do not have that, so we have to use our built-in projectile of the Skyward Strike to be able to knock it down. And Mario having a little trouble with the Staldra, but works out.
Yeah, that's one of the graces of this route. Like if we did not have a Skyward Strike there, or if we were playing on normal mode, we would not be able to do itemless. We would have to get some items for here. So like, there's a lot of things that only barely work, and that's the only reason we can like do a lot of the stuff in this route. Alright, good spider jump by Mario.
Also H.
Also H.
Yeah, so both our runners are still fairly close together, only about a minute or so.
I just thought of something. The only boss keys we get in this run are H and D. What is that telling us?
That's telling us that even on the Wii version, we still have HD.
Maybe it was the foretelling of Skyward Sword HD from before time.
Yes, the devs completely intended for us to do this entire run the way we do it. And they just wanted to drop a hint for anyone who discovered the proper dev-intended speedrun.
And then when we did, I mean, hey, we did find itemless, and then or we found this route, and then I think 2 years later HD came out? I don't know. Maybe there was something there. Maybe they were listening.
Also, that was a very clean G1 fight. I didn't even notice he was even fighting G1. I look over, he's done. Okay then. Very, very clean fight from Kitcot.
It can be dummy. It's a lot of luck. There's no real there's a little bit of execution, but it's a lot of just oh, am I just gonna throw darts? And so
yeah. So we're gonna notice that Kitcot is going to skip this heart container because it is to us. I mean, it can be picked up for a little bit of safety in the next coming trick, but it really is not anything special.
Yeah. And specifically, for this run, we are playing on file 3, and we're gonna finish the run on file 1. And so, because of that, anything we get on file 3 is not gonna be put on file 1, so it doesn't really matter if we get it or not.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, we're gonna get the tunic on file 3, but we're not gonna actually finish the run wearing the tunic. We're gonna get pajamas back.
Yep, we're gonna defeat Demise in our pajamas.
Which is the best part of this route. I'm so glad that's back. I was not in the route for a little bit, and I think Elden EB brought it back.
Yeah, it looks like Mario's very much struggling with these vines today, which understandable.
Now here's where I give the inevitable shout out to Exto, who made a great tutorial for these vines that you should all watch, no matter if you are speedrunning this game or not. You should watch it anyway.
Also, H.
With the second H.
The second H. The second coming of H. But yeah, so now Kitcot has the Ruby tablet, and he is just going to just load up file 2, which is in sealed grounds, and just die.
Yeah.
So the way I love to explain this run to people that don't know Skyward Sword, you are either doing things while dead, or going to your next place to die.
Yeah.
And that could pretty much sum up the entirety of this run.
Yeah, so now that we got the Ruby tablet, so tablets are kind of annoying because you get them and then you have to place them. Like, you have to go back to the goddess statue and actually place them in the goddess statue. Luckily, we have some tricks to do that a little fast. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna do something we did like earlier when we went to Skyview, is RBW, Wrist Bit Warp, which is gonna just spawn us into the goddess statue. And a little like fun thing to notice is that when Kitcot saved, he saved at a prompt. Prompts don't have any coordinates assigned to them because you're not supposed to be playing the game. So when you respawn, you're going to be put at the entrance of where you're supposed to be, which in this case is useful because otherwise, like, if we saved normally in Deep Woods, we would just be spawned like way out of bounds. But luckily, we're fine.
Death.
Yeah, and then you just like this
out.
game doesn't damage you if you void out, so you just softlock infinitely, and it can be unfortunate.
Yeah, also a pretty nice fight from Mario. And once again, gonna be skipping the heart container. And Kitcot has now gotten the tunic, which is required for exactly one instance of Back in Time. I am correct in saying that.
I honestly don't even know why we need the tunic. We definitely need it, but I don't know why.
It's for the layer in sealed grounds for the rock RBM.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Because if we don't have the tunic, then Gorko is not there and the statue is active.
Man, we're this close to skipping it. Dang. Alright, so Kid's gonna do another instance of Farron bit. He's gonna go to Eldon. But in order to go to Eldon, he's gonna go to Farron and then go to Eldon. Because so we're gonna do another reverse bit warp here. We're gonna be doing one into Eldon. And we specifically want coordinates that are gonna put us out of bounds, because something like weird with this game is that this game just has a lot of like outline collision, where if you get out of bounds, you can run for quite a while until the collision goes away. So what we can do,
are very generous.
Yeah, I think it's because like they don't want you flying the beetle, then it just going through the floor. But because of that, we're gonna go up the entire Eldon volcano out of bounds, instead of just going up normally, because it's a lot faster. So, but to do that, we are gonna need specific coordinates, which for this one, we want the behind the temple statue in the sealed grounds. So that's why I had to go to Farron first, and then we're gonna head off to Eldon. So yeah. Theoretically, you could just go straight to Eldon here. Like, you don't need to do this, but we want the coordinates, so like we are gonna have to do this. There's no real like getting around this.
Yeah, you would
Unless
have
you want to do Elden normally. That
You'd
sucks.
have to go through a very lengthy process to get to Elden or Temple normally.
Yeah. You have to like get the digging mitts and then climb up Elden slopes, and that just ends up being really slow. Yeah, so he saved file 3, and now he's gonna fly with file 2 back to the sky.
Rest in peace to the old bit warp where you jam yourself inside a goddess cube.
It's been a while since that one was in any percent, but yeah. I think it's currently in all dungeons though, so we can find it somewhere. Yeah, so you're gonna see Kit. He kind of just got like flung back to where the Loftwing bounds are. So that's what I was talking about with like the invisible wall earlier. The game just like does not want you outside of it, so it's gonna fling you back. And he's gonna do a dive into the zipper. This is just gonna be because zippers aren't supposed to like work properly right now. So if you do this, you can just go super fast.
And,
oh no, he got the soft lock. It's not a soft lock.
He can do this. It's gonna be a little bit of time loss, but you're gonna notice that like he is diving into somewhere we can't even see. That's because the pillar is not visibly loaded. And yeah, so he's going to an invisible target, but he knows the angle, so he's able to get it quite easily.
Now he's out of bounds.
Now he's out of bounds, just running. And also, the Elden Pillar is actually within the bounds, just barely, of the Loftwing tutorial, so he's able just to fly right there and not have to do any lengthy skydiving.
Yeah.
Get there. Which, fun fact, was how we used to get into Farenbit before skydiving. You would go in through Elden, and since it's the first time you're going into a pillar, it's like, oh, you must be going to Farron. There's no way you can go to Elden first.
Yeah, there's like this long cutscene that's like, wow, you're going in. And like with that, it always, like no matter where you are, it's going to set you to Farron.
And I would like to point out that what Kitcot just did is very much harder than it looks. He was able to walk up an invisible slope and gain some speed and hop up a wall and allow him to get over without falling into lava.
I just gonna do this big side hop. Lands
now
it.
You're just gonna jump right down and just splat. And that's actually very optimal because now we're at 2 hearts, which is where you want to be for most times when you're going to go into back in time, because you're 1 hit away from death, and it's just very quick.
Yeah, health is like a negative in this game. You do like the less health you have, the better you are. You don't generally
especially in a run where you don't get bombs. If you had bombs, it wouldn't be that bad, but
we have to resort to like other alternative ways of dying, like cactuses or like enemies, and it can suck.
Yeah, because then you throw in some RNG in there, or like you throw in some time loss from like throw yourself off a cliff multiple times.
So here we're going to see the first instance of Scene Flag RBM using this run, and that's going to be, we want to open the Earth Temple, and opening the Earth Temple is just 1 flag, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the corresponding flag to it on Skyloft, which in this case is pushing in Betrot's grave. And by doing that, it will set the flag that says, okay, you pushed it in, but on the Elden map, which is going to give us the Earth Temple door. So we can skip like the long key collecting sequence and save a lot of time.
Is Betrot undead?
I don't know if it's his grave, but he like owns the grave or something. I don't know. It's his special grave. I don't know.
There's some ancient mechanic that causes a shed door to open when the grave is pushed. And that's the flag that we want.
Yeah, so you're just going to see Kitcot load in, and Earth Temple.
Immediately into Earth Temple. And it's nice because the statue that he saved at is within the cutscene trigger, so that's why the cutscene triggered automatically as soon as he did that. And now we're going to see a trick known as Keys Yeet. I absolutely hate this trick personally, and I refuse to do it. But pretty much what he's going to do is he's going to manipulate an enemy to a certain angle so he can cut a rope that's usually would require a projectile.
Yeah, he's gonna take this a little slow because if he fails it, then he's gonna have to reload the room because the keys won't be here. But he gets
And
it.
he's got
Nice. Yeah, that trick is pretty finicky. The keys can be annoying to work with,
That's why I absolutely refuse to do it.
that trick is instrumental in skipping the beetle. Usually you cut that down with the beetle, but itemless, so we don't do that. It actually turns out to be pretty fast too.
There's alternatively an RBM you can do and then a bit warp to put you halfway through the dungeon and skip it, but it's about 3 minutes slower. So only those insane enough to do it like me are cursed with that.
Yeah, unfortunately the backup, it kind of sucks, but.
And we see Mario going through his Elden out of bounds.
And Kitcot dies again because, yeah, that's what we do. This RBM is gonna be a little special for Kit because he's actually not gonna leave the splash screen here, like this first screen. When you load into Back in Time, the game doesn't actually have any data. Like, you're on a file that doesn't have any data. But as soon as you open the splash screen, it's gonna load one of the files. In this case, file 3. And we want to enter this Night Academy with no data. So we're just gonna stay on the splash screen by using the WeMotion Plus tutorial, and just enter with nothing, and that'll give us the right layer for the correct text we want to see.
And more importantly, not crash.
Yeah, I think like all other 90 Academy layers just crash.
And fun fact, if he did so happen to press A before entering the Night Academy, he could do a backup. He could do the exact same RBM he just did not too long ago, and that would also work.
Yeah.
Because there are 2 different flags you can set for that. Just based on the order of how things can be done. And we'll see that Kitcot jumped in the middle of the cutscene, right on the lava, which will allow him to die very quickly. This does 2 things. One, it commits the flag. Back in Time is very weird with how it handles like new flags. Depending on the area you're in, sometimes you'll have to set another flag for the RBM flag to take effect. Sometimes you don't. It all depends on your area and what you're doing. So...
Yeah, and some RBMs require like a reload where, like that bridge, it wasn't raised the first time, like he just left it, but when he reloads, it'll be there because the map just doesn't update immediately.
So that was like twofold. He committed by getting the cutscene, and then he died, which caused the reload.
Yeah, and death there is actually very much kind of necessary because you actually do want health for the next fight. Scaldera.
That is true. I mean, you could do damageless, but
you don't want to do damageless. Damageless Scaldera is monk ass. That's a scary trick or a scary sequence. Because
I mean, I mostly do damageless.
I guess
I forget the damage down.
So one thing about this dungeon is you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't the dungeon item the bomb bag? And don't you need the bomb bag to kill Scaldera? And yes, you do need the bomb bag.
But no, you don't.
No, you don't. The game is like, this is one of those things that's just kind of a miracle that this works, because honestly, if there's like so many worlds where the devs like patch this out accidentally, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna end up killing Scaldera only using the bomb flowers that's found in his arena, and you'll see it in a little bit. But at the top of his room, there's gonna be a bunch of bomb flowers, and we're gonna roll them down. Like, we're gonna hit Scaldera with a bomb, and then we're gonna roll them down to his mouth so we can eat them. And by doing that, you can trigger Scaldera's damage and hit him. But we'll see it in a little bit. You gotta sit through some cutscenes first.
D.
So. D.
Oh yes. While I'm thinking about it, some of you watching may be thinking, "Can I do this on my Switch?" And the answer to that is a big old no. Because in the HD version, you are not able to reset, or soft reset anyway, like you are on the Wii. So, Back in Time is inadvertently patched.
Yeah.
By no accord of the devs. Like, the devs didn't patch it. The manufacturers of the Switch did.
If you like hacked in a reset button into Skyward Sword, you actually would be able to do Back in Time in the HD version. It does work. But
which is the only HD remake that actually has that, because
yeah,
Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD have had dev patches to back in time.
it's funny that the only game where it like matters a bunch, they're just like, nah, we'll keep it, just to mock us. I'm still waiting for the amiibo that's gonna be like, oh, you can reset your console now. So they're just gonna make Skyward Sword HD pay to win. I think that'll be hilarious.
I'm waiting for someone to like create like a third party device that would like plug into your Switch and act as a reset button.
Just a
They'll,
big
like,
button that you
They'll like
throw on
trip
your
some
desk.
fuses or something that would just restart the game.
Dude, I just like, could imagine like a big button that you put in your desk and you just like smash it and it just resets and it's like, this is the bit button.
Just like a nuclear launch button, just like a giant red button.
A giant
on your
red
desk.
button.
They just slam with your fist.
Alrighty, so now we're at Scaldera. So yeah, this spicy meatball, he's a toughie. So what your kid's gonna do, he's gonna pick up this bomb and he's gonna throw it to Scaldera when he gets close enough. He's gonna pick up this other bomb, roll it down to Scaldera, and now Scaldera is going to eat it, and he can do damage. And he has to do a very specific set amount of damage, because the strat we're going to do at the end of the fight only works when you do certain damage values. So we need Scaldera's health to be at a very specific amount when we finish him. So he's going to do the same thing again. He's going to roll a bomb. And you may be thinking also, why can't we just do this 3 times? But
You'll see.
after this, Scaldera's gonna enter what we call Rage Phase, which is basically he'll run over Link, and then let's see, you can Skyward Strike the eye here, and then you should be able to kill him. He'll enter a thing called Rage Phase, which is he'll run over Link and then run down, and when he does that, he'll always be at the bottom of the arena, and bombs don't reach that far. So what we need to do is you need to Skyward Strike the eye with it, because for some reason the eye will still have a hitbox temporarily after you hit him.
Looks like Mario failed the Pipit RBM.
Oh,
Whoops.
whoops.
That's an unfortunate RBM to mess up.
Yeah, so what you have to do is you do that Skyward Strike, and that's also why we need the specific damage, because the eye hitbox disappears if you have done too much damage. So you do a very specific amount, you kill him, and yeah, that's how you beat him damageless. That fight is incredibly difficult, so good job to Kit for getting it first try. And now he's done with the Earth Temple, the final dungeon in the run. And if you can honestly believe it, like, we only have like 30 minutes left of the run. We're almost done. We're over halfway done.
Yeah, the real reason why we do these dungeons is just to get access to the next area of the game. Like, we do Skyview to get access to Eldon, and then we do Earth Temple to get access to Lanayru. And Lanayru is where most of the magic happens.
Yeah.
Like, if we could get to Lanayru without doing these dungeons, then we wouldn't do these dungeons.
Yeah, no, there's like, it's kind of weird to say, but like, there's legitimately one reason to do this, and it's only for the Lanayru tablet. Early Lanayru is like the holy grail of this game at this point, where if you get that, then all of a sudden at the 90% route, you save like 40 minutes or something.
Which is very ironic, considering like the old routes of years ago, like, just glazed over Lanayru and spent like no time in Lanayru.
Yeah. Some handy discoveries have changed that. So, as you'd expect, being a dungeon, you're gonna go straight back in it. So we're actually gonna be done with File 3 now. This is the last time we're gonna save File 3. We're gonna do Back in Time in Earth Temple, and we just want the Earth Temple flags on File 3, because from here on out, we're gonna switch to playing on File 1, because we need to finish the run on File 1. So what we're gonna do is
I mean, do we really need to, or is it an aesthetic choice?
I don't actually know. It may just be a routing thing. I'm not sure. I didn't make this route. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing we did earlier with the Emerald Tablet RVM, but instead we're gonna use the Lanayru tablet. So Kit's gonna bonk into this tree, and he's gonna grab this rupee, and this is gonna load our inventory flags into Back in Time. And so when he enters the goddess statue, he's going to place the Lanayru tablet, which just got loaded because we loaded with File 3. And with this, we're going to just do the same RBM of placing the linear tablet and then starting our file when it's being placed. So now we're gonna have the linear tablet on file 1, and we can go to linear. And so yeah, the whole doing the dungeons again. This was the only reason we needed this. Like, even though file 1 hasn't been a dungeon, it doesn't matter because we just need linear. Linear is all we need.
Yeah, forget love. All you need is linear.
And we saved file 1 in Farron earlier, so now we're just gonna leave.
And we're gonna be getting an interesting cutscene from Fi here because like we never actually like entered Farron with file 1.
Yeah.
So Fi's gonna be like, yeah, you can now dive into Farron for the first time.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like file 1 currently hasn't even like the game thinks we haven't even gone past the wing ceremony yet.
Yeah,
like we saved it at the wing ceremony prompt, and then we just put it in Farron.
Yeah,
it's
like
fun.
We haven't even seen Zelda get kidnapped.
No, Zelda is perfectly fine. Zelda is just chilling on Skyloft somewhere. Zelda, she's fine. I don't know why the hell we're doing this. Why are we here? Zelda is fine. What are we looking for?
That is a very good question. We're looking for a personal best. That's what we're looking for. All right, we just woke up one day and like, you know, I'm gonna eradicate all evil from the world.
I don't know if we're eradicating all evil. I mean, there's a lot of evil.
The main evil in the world.
We deal with the one evil, and we don't care about the rest.
Until it comes back in like 10,000 years or something. But that'll be another Link's problem.
Alright, so we land in Lineru, we save, we more die. Of course, we die. And we're gonna do a trick called a bit warp. This is the simplified version of the reverse bit warp that we did. But all we're gonna do is we call it a reverse bit warp and a bit warp for a very interesting reason, because when we do an RBW, or reverse bit warp, we're basically taking coordinates from our file and applying them to the map we're going to be entering back in time. So, like when we did the Elden reverse bit warp, we took the behind the temple flags and put them in Elden. So when we spawned in, we are at those flags and those coordinates. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take the coordinates of the Skyloft map and apply them to the map we're currently on. So, when Kitcot, he's going to save and start his file at the same exact time. You'll see it. And now the game's going to think, okay, I am at the coordinates of this statue, but you're not actually at the statue, you're still in Lineru. So, now we're just out of bounds.
Yep, and we're going to be walking a fairly long way through the little Lineru caves, which usually you don't get to for like the last third of the game. By this point, you would have already had gotten past the first couple dungeons. You now would have beaten Ancient Cistern, and you would have gotten the ability to get your claw shots and go through here. So like easily, like this wouldn't happen for like 4 or 5 hours into a casual playthrough.
Yeah. So, pretty good skill there from Mario. I think he just had like a 4 cycle, so very nice. He is.
Not bad.
I would like to say Mario is currently on PB pace.
That is very nice.
Kitcot is, I think, like 30-something seconds behind.
He did kind of screw up a couple of things here and there, but his execution is definitely making up for it.
Yeah. No, honestly, this is 2 very impressive runs by both runners. Keeping up.
So yes, now Kitcot's going to be going into Lineru Gorge, which is pretty much the promised land in this game.
Yeah. This is the...
all thanks to something that was discovered, I think, in like 2019 or 2020.
2020, yeah. I think.
And that is early boss rush. Pretty much, you go through the main quest, and you end up beating the Thunder Dragon and doing a little side quest with him, and he then gives you the option to do a boss rush mode, which is a very fun mini game. It's how you get the Hylian shield in vanilla gameplay. But for us, it's much more important. For us, it lets us skip the entirety of the rest of the game and go right to the penultimate boss. So these next couple instances of Back in Time are all just the setup for early boss rush.
Yeah.
And I believe there's like 4 of them.
It's 3 RBMs in the bit warp.
Yeah, there's 3 RBMs in the bit warp.
And yeah, so there are like a few ingredients you're gonna need for this. The main one is that this area is supposed to be the area where you do the minecart escort normally, which is like the super long and boring section where you just like ride a like you take a minecart across a long track and bring it back to
claw shots to catch up with it. And,
yeah, it's awful.
And guard it and everything.
So what we're gonna do is we want to get that, but we don't want to actually do the escort. So what we're gonna do instead is we're just gonna cheat. So
the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to blow up a rock that is usually in the way, that usually would require the hook beetle or a very precise bomb throw. But of course, we don't have either of those. So we're just gonna blow it up using reverse bit magic. Then we're going to RBM a flag that says, okay, you're at this point of the minecart escort. Minecart is at this checkpoint.
And so, yeah, that is the flag right there. It's actually like this weird cutscene that you get. And we're going to blow up this rock. I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but by doing that, we telekinetically destroyed a rock. So we have successfully ended that rock's career, and now we are going to do another one because we want to actually start the minecart escort. And to do that, we're going to say hello to our good friend Machi, who's going to
use the
tell
rock
us
to destroy the rock. Yeah, we're gonna go take a look at that, Machi.
Yeah,
it's funny that all of these Back in Time segments, minus the bit warp, all take place in Varenbit.
Yeah.
Varenbit has definitely been a very big staple of this run.
This is like the big gauntlet of the run where it's like, we just need flags, we just need to do a bunch, so...
Yeah, setting up another Frankenfile, as I call it, where we're just setting up a whole bunch of different flags for various purposes.
Yeah, this actually used to be even worse. We used to have to do 5 RBMs. We do the Rock, the Machi RBM, the RBM that's going to be coming up, the 2x20 RBM, which is going to actually like revive the Thunder Dragon, and then we also have to do Gate of Time and 7x04, but luckily those 2 have been cut with the new tricks, so it used to be even worse. Oh yeah, and Temple Time Statue, we'd have to say hello to Petro. It was Linearu is a doozy. Alright, so yeah, kids back in Farron.
I remember when the Temple of Time RBM was the only RBM that we did in Linearu. We literally just did the RBM, got the harp, and then like, okay, goodbye Linearu for the rest of the run.
Yep. So Mario touches down in the Linearu, so he's pretty far behind at this point. I think like 5 to 7 minutes or something, but we'll see how the end game goes. Honestly, anything can happen. This category can be pretty volatile sometimes, and the end game is difficult, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Alright, so Kitcot though, he is entering Farron, and so yeah, he's I guess I should explain the Kikwis. They're just little forest creatures that like to exist, and we're gonna use their existence to save this one and steal his flags because he's useful. So yeah, this is Machi. We're gonna kill these Bokos and then talk to Machi, who's gonna be all scared and afraid, but we're just gonna start file 1 on his first text box, and that's gonna set the flag we want, and hooray. Thank you for the secrets. So now the minecart's on.
So now we will have a minecart, and we're gonna reveal a hidden rupee that not many people knew was actually there. And yeah, that turns the minecart on. That is the on switch for the minecart.
So, what we're doing for this, the reason we're doing this again, like, we're gonna do actually a bit warp, and the whole reason for the setup is that there's a way to skip the entire minecart escort by doing 2 reverse bit magic sequences and then bit warping too far out of bounds. And by doing that, you can, if the minecart is on, when you void out, the game is gonna think, okay, well, I want the minecart to be in the place you voided out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out, like, walk around out of bounds to the area where the minecart is at its, like, last point, and then we're gonna void out. And by doing that, the game's gonna think, oh wow, you are, like, you're over there and you voided out. I gotta put the minecart where you are. And so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna get the, like, basically just warp the minecart to the end of the escort. And by doing that, we can skip, like, all the item requirements. We can skip actually doing it entirely. And that's really huge for this run because otherwise, like, if we didn't do that, we'd have to go get the claw shots and all that, and it would be a big hassle. Yeah, so now we're just far out of bounds. And Kit's gonna run, and he's gonna do a jank jump.
Yeah, for some reason, the ledges and stuff is very weird in this area, and we want to get on top of this little rock face on Kitcot's right. And, yeah, so he's going to do a little setup to try and get a good angle, and barely able to jump on.
Yeah,
it's right here is like where the collision ends. There, right there.
Yeah. It's incredibly sad that we had to do this because the collision extended a little bit farther. We wouldn't have to do this. Nice, gets it first try.
Very nice, very clean.
That trick is a kind of a notorious run killer because due to how, like, nunchuck knocks and stuff, notches work, because of how those work, and that, like, because there are inconsistencies between controllers, this trick can just be incredibly inconsistent sometimes. So
also,
yeah.
If you are new, sometimes it's hard to gauge how far you're falling, so you can easily take some fall damage, and
yeah,
which would be very, very unfortunate.
Alright, so
then you would have to do the Machi RBM again, and then do the bit warp. But
there's my.
So now we're just gonna see Kitcot just do whatever he wants, just idly. Sadly, this is like the one part of the run where you actually don't have anything to do other than wait.
Yeah.
Because we are going to need the flag for the minecart to be stopped in its final resting place. So yeah, it's gonna be a time we're gonna see them probably like do some backflips or like splash some grass or do some brake slides, which looks like he's doing. Just dancing around a little bit.
Yeah, so coming up, we're also gonna have the final instance of Back in Time for Kid, which is going to be the 2x20 RBM, because instead of, like, medicine or anything, we're just gonna yell at the dragon saying, hey, you're healed, and he's gonna heal himself, so.
Yeah, we're just gonna be like, put our hand out and just be like, be healed! And he'll be healed.
I demand
by the power of Hylia, be healed!
And to do that, we're gonna walk into the Skyview Temple, and
again,
yeah,
a whole 30 minutes later. But yeah, and then after we're going to be doing a very interesting trick called G3 Escape. The very short of it, we're going to manipulate the boss and his floating platforms all the way down to the bottom where we're able to access a usually inaccessible bird statue to save and what I like to call escape the simulation. And we can kind of explain that a little bit better when the time actually comes.
Yeah,
it's definitely a doozy.
So happy 1 hour, at least for Kitcot. Not an hour. I was looking at Kitcot's timer.
Yeah, I think Kitcot adjusted his timer delay, so that way he could compensate for the 2-minute head start.
Yeah. Kitcot is entering the Farron Pillar, and again for the last time, hopefully. And so this RBM, like I said a little earlier, like we're gonna have to go back to Skyview Temple, so this one's gonna be a little bit longer. It's gonna be very similar to the RBW we did earlier. It's just gonna be a go to Deep Woods, it's like die to get the vine down, but it'll be a little faster this time because we have some extra flags.
Yeah, WingClash was just the name. A lot of the 3D Zelda communities have been doing tournaments, and yeah, they all have names that end in Ash. Like Twilight Princess did Wolf Dash, Christmas, Moon Crash, Wind Waker, Wave Crash. Thank you, Gal, for putting the names. So Skyward Sword came around, and we decided on WingClash. I am very sad that it did not end up being Bit Bash. That was my suggestion, but
there were a lot of good suggestions. It was good. But
yeah, so WingClash reference to Loft Wings and clashing, kind of like sword clashing. So yeah, also battles in general, clashes.
We're fighting when we're doing these speedruns. We're fighting.
Yeah. So now we have both of our runners in Skyloft Back in Time doing two different things, which just shows the versatility of Farron Back in Time. I believe Mario's doing Machi now.
Back in Time? Yeah, he is. Back in Time is a crazy glitch because it's interesting to see where like you look at a game like Ocarina of Time and it's like, okay, wow, this game is incredibly glitchy, but it also has a lot of unique glitches. This game has one glitch, and it's just insane. It's just absolutely crazy. This game is very glitched, like sound. Like there's not a lot of stuff. But Back in Time is just so insane that we can break the game with just that one duel. So
yeah, Back in Time and all of its sub glitches saves 4 hours in the speedrun.
Yeah, it's
absolutely insane. And Kitcot getting instant gratification that he has successfully performed the RBM.
Yep, so now he's back.
Now he's back and healing up a little bit.
So what's funny about this is the bones of the Thunder Dragon are like supposed to be here, so you're gonna see Kit like kind of floating. He's actually walking on the dead Thunder Dragon. You just can't see him. He's not like. Normally, when you enter this area the first time, the bones of the Thunder Dragon are just laying there. But because we're on layer 0, which is like the you're not supposed to be here yet layer, the game doesn't load it, but it still loads the collision. So you just walk on.
We have Schrodinger's Thunder Dragon. So now, as I said, we're accessing the boss rush earlier on. So we're accessing the boss rush early, and this is where I was talking about. We're going to be manipulating Girham. He's on these floating platforms here, and we're just going to make it so he goes lower and lower, and by doing that, we're going to be able to access a normally inaccessible bird statue. And right now we're in like a little bit of like a mini game aspect. This is supposed to be a fun recreation of the battle, which thanks to hero mode, we actually are able to do. But we don't want this recreation imitation battle. We want the real deal. So by saving out that bird statue and then reloading, we escape the simulation, and we are in the real deal.
It's a weird thing. This game handles the boss rush really strangely, where basically, like, when you enter a boss, the game isn't loading you into, like, a special map. You're actually in the boss fight. The game will give you all the flags that tell the game, like, yeah, you're actually in this boss fight. So normally when you finish it, it's gonna take all those flags away, but because we're not gonna be like finishing the mini game in a way we're supposed to, we're just gonna keep them, and that's how we're gonna just warp to the end. This was actually used in like old routes to get the scene flags for like beating the Fire Sanctuary and Ancient Sister, and to skip those dungeons by fighting the imprisoned, and then dying to his feet. Yeah, so there's the statue, and we are now going to we have escaped, and now we just gotta go finish him off.
This is actually a very good run for Kitcot too. He's only like 30 seconds behind his PB.
This is a good run. Subject is breach containment. Nice
Well,
spot.
right now we are currently in a little bit of containment. We're in an invisible box. So we're gonna take advantage of some obscure collision and just work our way back into bounds and then back out of bounds. It's very weird. The game right now is not happy with us, like, at all. So in a moment we're gonna be kind of like punished by the game. We're gonna just immediately just void out at some point once the game decided we've had enough. Actually, there's a very specific void plane, but and Giram is going to join us out of bounds.
Yeah. This fight is like incredibly broken when not done correctly. It's actually like very easy to crash the game entirely in this weird state. You need to be a little careful, but yep, so now he's joining us.
Yep, he has joined the party, and he is very angry because we are not doing things properly. And we're gonna see Kitcot knocking him towards the edge of the wall here, and we're going to knock him back into bounds, and we are going to join him. And then at this point, the fight pretty much goes like normal unless you void out, which hopefully wouldn't happen. That actually looked very scary for a moment. I was worried I jinxed it.
Yeah, if you void out here, the game has a bit of a fit.
But yeah, so now phase 1 is pretty simple. We're gonna get to phase 2, and this is where people regret having got the sword. Because this is all damage based here, and we have a toothpick, as Jasnix had mentioned. So we're gonna be here a little while, but it's still faster than the alternatives that we would have. So suck it up.
So I think Kitcot's gonna have to do 21 hits. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna do a Skyward Strike, 4 stabs. His nunchuck. This is a horrible time for your nunchuck to be acting up. 28. He's gonna do 4 stab. He's not gonna get that one, but what you can do is you can do 4 Skyward Strike, 4 stabs. The Skyward Strike will actually stun him for a little bit. So I need to get the stab.
And
so
now
Skyward
Giram has an invisible sword, by the way.
Oh yeah. So it's 4 stabs, Skyward Strike, and then 4 stabs, and you repeat. And you can do a lot of damage in one cycle, but that's also very difficult. Like the timing for that is incredibly tight. So
yeah, it's amazing that Kitcot can do it unbuffered like that. Some people do pause buffering to get the positioning right for it.
Yeah.
Very clean phase 2.
Yeah. Except for the little beginning issue, that was very good.
Yeah. And he gets called a name in Japanese. I don't know what the translation is. In English, he calls him a wretched brat, but
I think it's like the little boy here or something.
a little boy here.
Yeah, so this final phase is only supposed to take 2 hits to kill him, but we have a toothpick, so it's gonna take 8 hits. This takes a little while.
Yeah, but after this, it's just the final boss. Yeah, I was gonna find out what that's saying for us. And yeah, Kitcot has beaten G3 and now is on the final boss of the game.
Yeah, so
And while this has been happening, looks like Mario is doing the final instance of Back in Time now. He is still very much on PB pace. I think the split say he's 4 minutes ahead at this point, which is quite impressive.
Especially for a no reset, yeah. Alright, Kit on demise. Hopefully all goes well. He has 3 hearts. I'm gonna do a backflip.
Yeah, so he can take 2 hits in phase 1.
So you do a backflip jump slash on the first phase, you just do a sequence of hits, and then it'll stun lock him. And you can stun lock him with the first phase, and for the second phase, also we got time coming up, when Demise gets stabbed. Actually, wait, I don't need to say that. What am I thinking? I've been watching GDQ, it's fine. Yeah, he's gonna die. So, when he does this, he just goes stab Demise, and
GG.
Stop the timer. Alrighty. So yeah.
That is a time of 13 minutes. 1 hour 13 minutes. For Kitcot.
Very respectable
That is very nice.
race time.
And we're gonna have Kitcot in here for a little interview in just a few seconds. Yeah, it's 1:11:01 real time. So.
That's better than my PB.
That's
that
better
is,
than a lot of people's PBs.
That is better than everyone else in the tournament's PB. You know, Kid is pretty cracked at this game.
Yeah.
Do we want to bring him in now, or do we want to wait until Mario?
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
we can bring him in now.
Alrighty.
And here we have Kitcot. GG's.
Hello, GG.
That was a very, very impressive run.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'll definitely take it. There was some point I could have PB'd, but then some things went not perfect. But oh well.
Yeah, I remember the spider jump in Skyview kind of gave you little problems.
God, yeah. I was like, I saw the spider kind of going back and forth. I'm like, don't you dare, my guy, don't you dare. So yeah, there are a few scary points, I'll be honest, but for the most part, it was pretty solid, I think. Yeah, 1:11:01. That's definitely the best no reset I've had, pretty much.
That was very good.
I'm just hoping that I can repeat. I can hold my nerve and repeat that, because if I perform like this in every single race, I'll be really happy. I just need to just focus and again just keep going. It's like with all these being a best of 3, it's just how consistent can you be? Because it's like,
also,
yeah, I can pop this off once, but can I do it? Can I do it again? Can I do it in the future races? It depends, yeah.
And he also has some very clean boss fights, aside from that one little flub in G3. But
yeah,
that was very clean, nice tricycle for Scully. Good RNG for G1.
Yeah, no, again, it's like, yeah, not a huge amount went wrong. Like when my biggest time losses are just like suboptimal movement, I'll definitely take it in a race. Like Kishi was good, Scully was good. G3 escape, I golded that split. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, right now we have Mario getting ready to do G3 escape. So he should be done in less than 10 minutes, I believe. Hopefully less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is most likely going to be a PB for Mario. I'm knocking on wood because I really do not want to curse that. But yeah, we've had like quite a few PBs this tournament, I believe.
Yeah.
Yao got one in seeding. I've gotten like 3 since the tournament started. My most recent being one against Jasnix in round 1.
Yeah. I think at the end, I'll just do a compilation of everyone's PB at the beginning of the tourney and then at the end, because everyone's been kind of just grinding attempts recently. So
I probably have the most difference because I started this tournament with a 2:22 PB from the old route.
Yeah, no, massive improvement.
I think that's the great things about vanilla tournaments, is that it kind of encourages people to play more. Like, I probably wouldn't have got the 110 if the tournament didn't happen. to be honest.
Yeah, tournaments always add like a little bit of an excitement to the community and kind of energizes people, which is why I'm very thankful for ZSR for like letting us host these tournaments.
Yeah.
And being able to share it with you guys. And kind of see like the other side of Zelda games that you don't always see. Other than like randomizers and stuff. Yeah, so any other comments about your run, Kitcot, while we see Mario do a G3 escape?
Not really, to be honest. Again, it was just kind of, honestly, just standard no emotion, just focus and hope for the best. There's a few nerves going into it, as there always are. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how I did. And again, as I said, I just hope that I can repeat that for future races.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a best of 3 this series, so you're going to be going against Mario again at some point.
Yep.
And I will say Mario has, despite being on PB pace, he still has definitely more time to save. There were definitely a couple of instances for a large amount of time save. I believe most notably he ended up failing Pipit RBM, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was like the biggest law. I think it was that and then missing the wing ceremony cutscene skip.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't really miss this fence hop, but this is a really kind of like silly trick where you have to get a really precise angle and then you can just hop through that fence. I believe we don't actually even know why that works. It was just randomly discovered by someone.
I think it's like just because of like the way the collision works with that. There's just like a pixel where you can squeeze through.
It's kind of crazy because in this game, collision is like rock solid. There is like no out of bounds clips at all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to see it.
So the one time that we break the laws of physics and just phase our body through a wall.
Yeah, collision is strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mario. So we'll see if he can get
I'm
through
a little nervous
G3.
about Mario's health situation. Not gonna lie.
Okay, you went for safety, but Mario, he's going for it.
Right, Mario's going for it. I'm not sure if that's what I would have done on PB pace, but I mean, hey.
He may just be YOLOing it. I mean,
he's playing it safe with the platforms here, not going for the ledge grab strats.
Yeah. You don't want him to just like walk off into the distance.
Yep, backing up, take things safe here. Just hoping that your motion controls stay calibrated.
I guess the thing to like Gurham 3 is that it really depends on like calibration management, which is an actual thing in this game. It's like it's like actual skill, and so it's so easy just to like spam vertical slashes, and then like, if you're not paying attention to what your wrist is doing, it's very easy for calibration to go way out of whack. So I think definitely the GT fight as a whole now just really is like a good test of good sword fight and sword technique, and it's like it's pretty precise to do really well.
Mario's a little too close on the strike. I don't think he's gonna go for it. He may just get stabbed.
Yeah, I think he's going for the safety here.
This takes a little bit longer, but
or maybe not.
Yeah, no, he's too close.
Skyward
Strike just isn't hitting.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Skyward Strike is hitting, but so is his stab.
Well, no, the Skyward Strike is like actually just going straight through him. You can hit like both the stab and the Skyward Strike part. You can hit it at the same time, but if you're too close, it just doesn't like the Skyward Strike will not hit him at all. It's a little strange.
Yeah, Mario, you need to You need a backup.
Yeah.
Alright, no, he's still trying to go for it.
Here we go. This is the attack you can.
Oh, no!
Oh, that was so. That's kind of sad. The collision of the thing, like the beam, was like he moved a little far to the side, so he didn't hit it, but it was like wide enough that it still hit. Like it actually hit Link, it didn't hit his sword. That really sucks.
Did I just jinx this PB?
No, he should still be on pace. I think his PB. I think
only
he'll be a
ahead by
little
4
closer.
minutes, so.
It's
Not
up
sure
in
how.
4 minutes. He should still have this. Assuming like the rest of his G3 goes well from here.
Okay, you said that, not me. So
Oh
play
no!
this off of me now. But either way, PB or not, is still a very respectable time gonna be from Mario.
Yeah.
Even like play so closer than PB, because like Kitcot, what was your time compared to PB? Was it like only like
It was like
a minute? Or
my
not even a
real
minute?
time was 1:11:01, so it was like 40-50 seconds.
Yeah, so like that's one thing that always amazes me with people that have been running this game for like a long time. Like still to just be able to constantly get within so close of PB and just have that level of consistency.
I mean, hey, when you've been in a position where you've done 80% runs for 24 hours straight, you kind of build up a level of muscle memory that never really goes away. I've found.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did that. that was a while ago though. Wasn't it?
I did. It was like 2.5 years ago. Doesn't feel like it, but it was. And to be fair, the round has changed quite significantly, but I still like, you know.
Yeah, that was
the
before G3 Escape, I think, right?
It was before.
I want to say it was.
Yeah,
It was,
it was before G3 Escape. Yeah.
Yeah, it was still the imprisoned PB.
Yeah, it had the early boss rush. It was, yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do to end up the tournament. We should just like make grands like, all right, this isn't one race. You're doing 25-90% runs. Go.
Just have like a gentleman's agreement. Like, okay, we're gonna be doing this old route. we're gonna be doing the no bit any percent route.
We're actually running
Grand
100%.
finals.
We had this in the fine print. You just didn't read it.
The grand finals. Yeah. Mario, please, just do the stabs. Please just do. Try to get close for maintenance. Please check back later. Alright, at least Mario is making the distinction a little quicker. You got one? Oh,
I did too many stabs.
There's too many stabs, yeah. That's the one thing I don't like about like the stun lock. Like if you like are in the heat of the moment, you might be stabbing a little too fast, you might get an extra stab or two in there. You really don't want it. Oh, but you got it. Alright. Still too many stabs.
Alright, that was phase 2. One more.
And now we'll see the proper English, you wretched brat.
You wretched brat.
You wretched brat. Yeah, so now we get to count to 8. That was 1. Ooh, a little too close when you let loose the Skyward Strike. 2. Ooh. There. 3. 4. Oh, my god, stamina. Thankfully, Giram just is good, and he just sits there and just takes it.
Yeah.
And it's 6. 7.
One more.
And 8. All right. Time for Demise, and he is still on PB.
Alrighty, so if his demise goes well, then we will be seeing a PB. So let's see it. I know Mario has had some issues with demise in the past, but hopefully he should be able to get through this. And yeah, so Kit will be going up 1-0 in this series, no matter the results. Finishing time with Mario, but yeah. So I don't know if the third match. I don't know if the other matches have been scheduled yet, but they'll probably be at some point soon.
No, yeah, they'll be next week because I'm out for the weekend. So yeah, we'll see how they go.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna give Mario some time to practice, and
Yeah,
it'd definitely be an interesting game too to watch. And I will say that not every race is restreamed on ZSR, unfortunately. So if you want to make sure that you see the races, follow our runners, or Skyward Sword Speedrunning Discord.
yeah.
And keep you up to date on when things are going to be, regardless of whether or not they are restreamed.
I seem to be having some issues with getting spin attacks.
Yeah, that's usually one of my biggest.
Phase 2.
Alright, nice dodge. Good attacks. Ooh, missing.
Oh, I didn't get the lightning.
Though.
I should still have enough time.
Yeah.
Demise just looking. And
GG. And that looks like a PB, and looks like it is just a time of 129.
Let's go.
That might be a retime for him since his splits are 0.02 seconds off of the second. But yeah, that is GG for both of our runners. Both very nice runs. And that I believe that is Mario's first sub 130.
Yeah, I think so. So, congratulations.
Moving on up to the elite club of sub 130 times. I say that like I'm a part of that club. I am not.
I'll see if he joins in here.
So yeah, no, definitely a good run from Mario Runner. PB is a PB. I was looking at the restream for the time I was playing, and I did, it wasn't a perfect run, but definitely a good one with not. It wasn't a train wreck, and honestly, for sometimes in races, that's all you really want. You just don't want it to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I will make note of Mario's comment on race time. Bad run, PB, but bad run. That's always a double-edged sword. Like, on one hand, like, you got a PB, but on the other hand, it could have been better. But honestly, like, probably like those are kind of like the best kind of PBs, if you ask me, because that just means like, hey, in my mind, I didn't do so well, but like, I still did better than I've ever done, and that just means I only have that much more room to improve.
Yeah, it's like the most speedrunner thing ever. Is like to get a massive PB and then the first words to come out of your mouth go, this sucked.
Man, that was a terrible run. And looks like we have Mario with us as well. GG's, congrats on the PB.
There we go. Yeah, GG.
Thanks. Run though.
I mean, sometimes that's just how things work out. But like, hey, like you still that just means you just have that much more time saved for next run.
Okay, can anyone explain to me how I died in Girahim 3? Because I actually have no idea.
I
The
don't
projectile was
understand.
Skyward.
solidly on my right, and then I just exploded.
I think that hitbox is just a little bigger than it lets on, unfortunately.
Another thing, I'm not sure if it might be that the hitbox doesn't go away until it actually disappears. So I hit it with my sword horizontally by accident, which chipped it left into me, and then it hit me and I died. Which is my theory, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. That was very strange.
I will say I kind of jinxed it, maybe a little bit. I do apologize. Overall, I still think it was a pretty good run. What I'm curious about, because I wasn't really paying attention at that particular moment, but what happened with Pip at RBM?
I death warped and pressed the reset button, so I had to do it again.
Oh no.
I like muscle memoried into, like, I can't just hit the reset button from where I'm sitting, so I like move to hit it. So
Yeah.
I had gotten up to move, and then the second I pressed the reset button, I realized, wait, I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, not really. I expected to load into Earth Temple, and then I loaded into Back in Time, and I was like, wait a sec. Okay, well, guess I'm doing it again. Fortunately, I didn't clear Splash, so I didn't have to activate Bit a third time.
Yeah, because I saw you die for the death warp, and then I looked away for a second, and then I saw you going back into Night Academy. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
So my Gwei disappeared.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was wondering where the Gwei went, and then I saw you make your way over towards the Octrox.
No idea what happened there.
just 404 Gwei not found.
It's like
Yeah,
really funny because all the bad splits in my PB, I gained a bunch of time, and all the good splits, I lost a bunch of time. Which, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but like now my PB is just completely inverted from what it was.
Yeah. One thing that we kind of noticed, like just as kind of like a little bit of help for the G3 stun lock, we were noticing that you were a little too close to G3, and just the Skyward Strike was just not connecting.
Oh, you can be too close?
Yeah.
Yeah, like apparently according to Jasnix, like the Skyward Strike just like goes right through him, so you just stabbed him. And did
Okay,
the
well that
Skyward
might
Strike.
explain why I'm so why I am so consistent at stabbing him with Skyward Strike charge, and then he just jumps back and ignores me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
Heard like pause buffer it. That doesn't really help me because the act of like pausing messes with my. I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah, if you just bag up like a step or two while you're charging, then that should be a little better. Yeah, overall that was a pretty good run. Clean G3 escape. Yeah, you got a couple of golds in there as well. Definitely a very nice run and a good PB. So congrats again. And you got one more shot. You and Kitcot going up again at some point in the future to be determined.
Yeah. Not the same, but I'm gonna try to get in some more practice first. Fully.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing the rematch between you two, because it was a very entertaining race to watch.
Hell yeah.
Is there any penalty to like walking backwards while trying to charge the Skyward Strike, or does that make it slower?
It shouldn't. I think it could just be that if you like what it's kind of like a weird spot because you still need to hit him with the stab, but you need to hit him with a strike. So it's like you just need to move back. But I don't think there's any penalty to it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much fine. It's like, well, I walk a decent amount back and it's fine.
Do you have anything to add, Jasnix, or any of our runners?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, then with that, thank you very much to our runners, Kitcot and Mario Runner. Congrats, Kitcot, on the win, and congrats, Mario Runner, still on the PB. Thank you, Comms, Fireworks Banner, and Jasnix. That was excellent to listen to, for sure. Fantastic race. Next up on DSR, we have a very packed weekend, so please tune into the restream sign up sheet for that. Next, we have at 4 a.m. Eastern, the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Multi-World Season 3 Quarterfinals, Pirate Ship versus the Good, the Bad, and the Shock Skipper. But yeah, that will be at 4 a.m. Eastern on ZSR1. And then we have, yeah, good luck to that crew. And then at noon Eastern, we have Majora's Mask weekly race on ZSR4. And then the rest of the Saturday, we will see. Just whatever people can fit in, because we've got like over 10 things. So yeah, please stay tuned for all of those things. Yeah, until then, we will we're just going to end it here. So thank you everyone for coming out, and again, GG's to our runners, and everyone have a great day.